Well, hello there. Good morning. Just gonna do another quick video. Today's topic, I thought I would discuss what I think an alpha is. I think the misperception of what people think an alpha is, um, according to my opinion. You know what I mean? You don't have to agree with anything I say. Anything that I say in any of these videos, if you're gonna watch any of my videos, just understand it's my opinion. It's the conclusion of all the information and experiences that I've had in life. I don't prescribe my understanding of reality to a book. I don't prescribe it to other people. And I don't subscribe to other people's theories of the world. I have my own belief system. And if you want to hear my opinions, that's cool. If you don't want to hear my opinions, it's also, there's plenty of content out there. This isn't going to be for everyone. This isn't, I'm a very niche person, Uh, I wouldn't expect a lot of people to think what I'm going to say is interesting or entertaining. Um, a lot of the things that I always say in life to my dad, even because he's who I do most of my talking to, um, I don't live up to those expectations myself. Though it will not stop me from ever trying to reach higher expectations. I'm very limited in my capacity. I'm even more limited in my resources. Um, but I am aware of these limitations and I seek to improve my capacity over time, as should all humans. The concept of the tortoise and the hare, you know, um, it's life's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And if you are trying to become a better person, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen all at once. And you should continue to strive towards the goals that you are trying to reach. Now, back to the point of this video, which was me talking about what I think makes an alpha. I'm going to first start off with the the generalized conceptions of an alpha. An alpha, in general society, I believe most people think an alpha is just someone who's extremely confrontational, someone who's like very manly. It's usually somehow, I don't know how this ever happened, but we've conflated success and resource acquisition in a very skewed world that does not reward people who are meritocratically better than others. It's very nepotism based now. So um, status and success in this world isn't really a measure of an alpha anymore when families control wealth. There's marriage is the oldest monopoly, and there's so many things that I could point out that it'd be irrelevant. Like, I'm not trying to beat a drum here, um, but if you think being rich is a sign of being an alpha, then you don't understand the concept of an alpha at all. Okay, so being confrontational, smashing a lot of women, having a lot of sex, being very promiscuous is seen as an alpha. Um, and I can see how the aggressive energy and the high testosterone of a male, who is probably capable of going to battle and doing very well in battle, um, those men would also dominate the sexual market also, I would imagine, because the aggressiveness, the testosterone, the level of hormones that they have at their disposal, and that gives you more energy. Now, honor um, has been removed from the situation, integrity has been removed from the situation, and so has accountability. And I feel like three major things that are very important to someone being an alpha would be those traits. Since before, now we're talking about an alpha, and this is an already built society. This is a society that's not even really, they call America a nation. It's more or less a proving grounds. There is no uh, people that have like jurisdiction here, even though the Native Americans should have jurisdiction over their own land and they should have the control structure of this land. You go over to Nigeria, Nigerians are in control. You go over to multiple other nations in the world, and the people who are the demographic makeup of that, the I mean the background of that nation, they're the ones that are in control. The fact that America is controlled by mostly foreigners now, and a lot of our people are being mistreated that are American born citizens, while they treat people who are not born here much better, give them better lines of credit, give them more access to um, loans to get houses and cars. And I've seen this. I know it's true. I don't care if people say it's not true. I've seen it firsthand. People coming to this country and getting a far better shake than someone like my father, who's been a 50-year electrician. He was born in this country and he's worked his entire life. There are countless people in this country right now living in houses my dad built. There are countless people in this country that shop in stores that my dad wired. There is countless people in this country who stay in hotel rooms that my dad helped wire and build. There are people who live in this country who have a nicer house than my dad, who drive a nicer vehicle than my dad, who have never built a single thing for anyone in this country. And if you think that that's legitimately an acceptable thing to be occurring, then you're fucking insane, because that's not. My dad helped build this area, and he should have benefited from the rewards of building places. And a lot of people that are builders and tradesmen and stuff are being very mistreated lately, and it's gonna come full circle. But the concept of being an alpha, in my opinion, now let's get past that part. What I believe an alpha is in actual definition is when there were separated nations, when we had people who were from a different area and they had control of their region. An alpha would be anyone who could go to another village or another area with different people. See, you got to follow me here. Like, a lot of people are going to just, they're not even going to accept this idea because it's so far advanced from anything you ever think of. And don't think it's not advanced. I've been thinking about these things for years. You'd have to be able to go to the area with other people, adopt their customs, be able to live like them. You're not bringing your way of life to their area. An alpha would go to a new area, accept the customs and traditions and the ways of living of the people he was going to be residing with. You don't take your customs, traditions, and values with you to a new area. You go to learn their way of life. So anything as small as bringing water bottles or anything like that, when you travel somewhere and you go somewhere where they have more limited access to advanced technology and stuff, and you have to bring all your cameras and your smartphones, that's like the furthest thing from what an alpha would ever have done. An alpha would go to an area and he would learn the customs and traditions of the people in that area. And then whatever he learned and everything he experienced, he would bring back to his people and teach his people how to do the things they learned other places. Most people, and this is why I know most people are not of this hierarchy level, you wouldn't be able to go to another person's village if they had dominant control, if they had actual control, like control of the police, whatever. You know, we have all these systems now that are like literally to the point where I'm going to get off on a sidebar for a second. On Friday, I was working on a job site as an electrician, and I was moving panel covers out of a room. They needed to be moved so they could paint the room, and they were in the way, so I had to move them, and I had just got done moving them 2 days prior. And I asked them when I moved them if they were going to be out of the way, and they said yes. So 2 days later, of course, they were in the way again. I had to move them again. I was almost done moving them, and then some guy who was a Cuban, who was not born in America, who does not speak English, came over when I was almost done and tried to block the doorway I was using because he couldn't just let me finish what I was doing. And he had nowhere to go either. There was a scissor lift blocking the door and the pallet I was loading up with panel covers. So until I got the panel covers loaded up and then pallet jacked it away, he was going nowhere with the gang box. But the person got in my way. He couldn't speak our language. And then he got aggressive. And then when he realized he was much smaller than me and being aggressive with me wasn't going to get him anywhere, he threatened to call the cops. So this person who came to America, who was not born in America, tried to use the system in place in this country that my taxes pay for against me. And that's not dominant control of a nation. So this whole country, this can't even be used as an example of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a village of people who hunt and gather and gather all their own resources, make their own clothing, do their own stuff. Completely self-reliant people. Something that hasn't occurred for like 100 years, right? So I'm talking like pre-100 years ago. What was an alpha before we had all the warplanes and tanks and guns and stuff? What was an alpha back when we had bronze spears and swords and shields? I'm explaining to you what an alpha was before technology usurped the entire hierarchy, because it is technology that is usurping natural taxidermy. It's only like if you took a deer in the wild and you allowed one deer access to steroid food and made him much stronger and bigger, you would ultimately affect the hierarchy of those animals. But that would be through giving that deer special food, which is a technological advancement. So, like being able to put all these nutrients and steroids and hormones in the food to make even that on itself is already manipulating hierarchy. Everyone who takes steroids and all that stuff, you're usurping natural genetics. Like you're trying to become something that you weren't designed to be. That's why I'll never support anybody who does stuff like that. I'll never support performance enhancers, testosterone enhancers, anything like that. So, if you went to this village, let's get back, sidebar complete. Let's get back on track. So, if you went to this village and they had dominant control and you offended them, say you slept with someone's daughter, say someone's daughter came on to you and you didn't have the ability to fucking not sleep with someone's daughter, say you looked at the chief wrong, or say you looked at a warrior wrong, or say you did something, they would have just killed you. So most men would not have been able to go to another village, another place, another region with people and even survive, let alone learn anything and bring it back to your people. Like in America, we have cotton. In Scandinavia, Norway, all those places, they worked flax. It's not like we would have taken the cotton plant up into the Nordic region of the world and you would have grown cotton up there. It wouldn't have grown. It wouldn't have worked. So you couldn't take cotton and grow cotton up there. You had to go up there and learn how to use flax. You had to go up there and learn how to use the thing that grew there. It's like they built terracotta, they built adobe homes and stuff. You don't go to a place like Florida where they don't have any of these resources and build a bunch of fucking stucco homes. Because everything that gets destroyed or everything that has to be repaired, it has to be imported to be repaired. The fact that our world has gotten so far from what it should be, and the fact that you have to import resources to repair the buildings in a region and you don't just use the materials available in that region to make buildings. Like the fact that we have steel buildings in the middle of woods instead of just having timber buildings. So when the building gets damaged or whatever, you have to rebuild it. You have to import more steel from India because we don't make steel anymore in America. So it's just like the things that people are doing are not alpha. Like if you have a company and you look to yourself and you go, well, I can make more money by outsourcing the labor and by making, the materials or assembling whatever overseas or in Canada or Mexico, you're not an alpha and you should never have been a leader. All those people that did that, outsourced all of our production, laid off all the people in America, all this stuff, those guys weren't alpha. None of them were. An alpha not only enriches his own life, but he enriches the lives of the people around him. If all you can think about is how you need a better car, you need a bigger house, you need more stuff, and you don't think about who you could conquer physically, hand-to-hand combat, like that's all I think about all day is if I had to fight this dude hand-to-hand, would I win? If I had to fight that dude hand-to-hand, if you strip me and this dude down and put us in an arena, who would survive? If there was only one sandwich on the table, would you get a bite? Like that's the things I think about all the time, and it's funny because I don't win every single situation in my head. There's plenty of people I come across and I'm like, wow, that guy would destroy me. That guy would annihilate me. If we were in the wild, I'd have to fucking listen to that guy or it wouldn't be good. And there's so many people in this world that they don't understand that these things are inalienable. They're real. They're real. And the minute we get a little bit more down this road, a little bit more hungry, a little bit more upset about situations, the more you see people living in excess while people live in squalor, the more you see the inequality between people, the more you're gonna see these changes. There's already people being attacked. There's already people being robbed. There's already senseless violence between people that don't know each other. Like if there's motive and there's like a reason, transgressions and stuff, I understand violence in that nature. But if you're just attacking a random person because you're upset about your situation and you're just lashing out, that we're already coming to a point where people are like they're losing their ability to live in a society. That's chaotic nature. And chaos and society are opposites. They're not the same thing. Like, you know what I mean? They're not parallel to each other. You can't have chaos and society together. They do not function. And this fleecing of America, stealing all of America's wealth, and importing people, and allowing the rampant um, illegal immigration, while simultaneously England is like, oh, we're going to charge $12 for every single person who comes in the country. So if you come in the country one time, it's $12. You come in the country twice, it's $24. Fuck, if we just charged all the people who came in America once $12, you know how much fucking money that would have been? You know how many fucking, just once, just fucking once, all the people that come here from all over the country and shit on America and use up America and poison America and pollute America. It's not like I'm really tied to this region. Like, oh, I bleed America. I'm a patriot. I love this fucking country. I love what it stood for and what I was raised for as a kid and stuff. But this isn't my land. This isn't where my people come from. This is just a region that they put all the fucking the serfs or something, because they obviously don't care about America. They obviously don't care about this region. Look at how pretty some of the places in Europe still are. They've been inhabited way longer. The Native Americans, when the buffalo roamed and all that shit, dude, this land was such a beautiful place. We all know that. That's fact. That's not even up for fucking debate. We know that to be fact. So, and now it's, how many times the Ohio River catch fire? Like not hurricanes, but the BP oil crisis. Apparently there's another oil crisis. All the fires that are being started, the wildfires in California, the fact that they can cut down the trees that are damaged by fire for free. They don't have to pay for the lumber. So all these corporations are just making fucking record-breaking profits all the time. Like, there's so many things. Like, it's like we're convinced that life's getting harder, and we keep getting less and less share of the resources, while all these corpus entities, these non-body entities, these people who you can't blame, who you can't target, this idea, it's like, okay, Tide, like, who do I attack? Who do I kill? Who is Tide? Who do I go after? And if I started going after Tide, wouldn't I hurt fucking innocent people with families and shit like that? It's like such a quandary living in this world now, where I don't even know how to go to battle with anybody. I don't even know how to bring war to the problem. Like, I don't know who to go after. I don't know what to do. It's insane. I go out there and I run, and I can't even come up with an answer, because to get to the people who have made the suffering in this world, to get to the people who are the problem, to get to the George Soroses and the Hillary Clintons of this fucking world, you'd have to kill so many good people. And that breaks my fucking heart, dude. It really does. That there's good fucking people in this world that are ignorant to the truths of how fucked up people are and how they want people to suffer. They never want life to improve for certain people. It's just because they don't want to have to clean their own toilets. They don't have to sweep their own floors. They don't have to take their own garbage out. People need this system so they don't have to take care of themselves. We have created a world where people, all they have to worry about is where they're vacationing, where their fucking luggage is at, who's doing what, and who's having what party and soiree and benefit and gala, and all they do is travel the world on these jets and burn way more fossil fuels and leave such a large carbon footprint, while they lecture you about your impact on the world. It's sickening. It really is. And I hope that this video makes people understand the concept of an alpha a little bit. I know there wasn't that many reasons why people don't understand what an alpha is, but the main reason of an alpha, like the main bedrock to what an alpha is being able to know what your region is, accept the resources that are in that region, utilize those resources of that region, and improve and enrich the lives of the people around you in your society. Because an alpha brings people together. It's supposed to be magnetic. When one man goes, I have a fucking plan, I have a goal, we can do this together if we all fucking work on it, and then everyone's life improves from it. That's what an alpha used to be. He used to be the team leader. I know what an alpha is because my dad is a great alpha. Everybody that fucking I talk to and everybody I work around, they love working for my dad. I've never met a single person who doesn't love working for my dad. If my dad was to quit the fucking job he works at, I guarantee 80% of the workforce would go with him, because that's how much they love my dad. And it's like an actual fucking like respect, because my dad's 73 years old and he still gets up and puts his boots on and goes to work. He's been doing it for 50 fucking years, and he still gets up, and he's a good soldier, and he does his fucking job. He doesn't complain, even though the IRS won't let him fucking resolve his taxes for like 20 fucking years now. I mean, they've been coming after him, and no matter how many times he tries to, he just jumps through these hoops, man. He does things that I'll never do. I'll tell you right now, when everything starts breaking, when if it was up to me, if you guys needed me to fix it, and none of you could fix it, I'll just go off in the woods by myself. I'm not going to fix it for you. That's your warning right now. There's a lot of good men that can fix things, that are the sons of other men who fix things. But watching my dad toil his whole life away, watching my dad do what he's done his whole life and get very little out of it and get absolutely no respect for it from people who can do nothing, watching all the women that want to be turned out by fucking businessmen and people who do nothing and not wanting to fucking have a family with tradesmen, and then when they do have a family with tradesmen, they cheat on their husband, and they fucking always looking for a monkey branch that's better than being with the construction worker, man. You know, like it's not hard enough fucking getting up and being a construction worker. You have to worry about your wife cheating on you and all this other crap, all these other geopolitical fucking problems because you give these white collar men way too much time and way too much pay so that they can actually even compete with men like us. They should make significantly less than us. And the fact that you make it to where these people can compete with us at all is a fucking insult to us. It's an insult to how hard we work. It's an insult to putting the boots on and fucking going out there and sweating. It's an insult to the soldiers too. The soldiers should make more money. There are trades, there are jobs, there are professions like cops and firefighters that should make more money. But there are people who no, like, who gets the money? Oh, yep, influencers. That's who gets the money. Who gets the money? People who make YouTube videos. Why do you think I'm making YouTube videos? I'm trying to get resources any way I can. You know, but I'll never sell T-shirts. I'll never do something like that. There's certain things that I'll never cross lines. Like I don't see it as real work, real merchant. You know what I mean? It's not real barter. It's not real trade. It's just nonsense memorabilia and materialism. I have enough T-shirts. I don't need to sell T-shirts or buy T-shirts. And all these people that are like, oh, well, I can just get rich by selling T-shirts or mugs. Let's make Steven Crowder rich. So let's make this Canadian fucking born little fag boy fucking, you know, let's make him fucking. God damn it, I can't say like shit like that on YouTube. I can't. See, this is why I have a problem even talking, because now when I start to get, I can't even fucking hold my tongue. I have to say mean things about people that I don't like, that have benefited from the American people. Like, you've pilfered money from them with your stupid mug club, and you're not a good man. You know, I could sense it the whole time. I knew he wasn't a good man, and it finally came out that he wasn't a good man, but, you know, whatever. No one had to listen to me when I said it years ago. You know, no one had to listen to Owen Benjamin when he said it years ago. You know, there's so many fucking people, like, in this world that actually have their finger on the pulse of what they're trying to see accomplished in this world, like see improve. People that actually want to see strong families with children, and women grow up with self-respect, and men grow up with skills and abilities and confidence, and they're not jealous and manipulative and weak, you know, because by making the men act like women and making the women act like whatever we're at, making the women act like, it's not even it's a fraction, it's a fractal piece of a personality. We're trying to make the women act like caricatures of themselves. Like they have to be in character. They have to be like this little cute princess all the time. They can't even just be themselves and just be a normal human. It's got to be like, they got to always try to be selling themselves to men. They've always got to be advertising themselves. It's come a long way. This social media shit, this fucking internet shit, all this stuff, it's very flagrant to the whole system of meritocracy, the concept of the strong win and lead us, you know, like that's really what it is. The strong should lead, and the people that are leading now, they will keep the strong down and then they will squander resources and covet and envy the men around them, because they can't compete with the men around them because they're weak and they don't want to self-improve. And without self-improvement, the only draw that you have to women is material. So that's what you've done. You've created a game where you guys have the material, so you can draw the women in with trips and yachts and fancy cars, and you can buy them expensive dinners and stuff, but when it really comes down to it and you take your fucking clothes off, you're flaccid, you're disgusting. um, you know, it's whatever, it all wears off, you know what I mean? Like they say, the whole show me a hot woman and I'll show you a guy who's tired of fucking him. Show me a hot chick, or what is it? Show me a hot chick and I'll show you a guy who's tired of fucking. What would be the inverse of that? The inverse of that would be, show me a flaccid, liver spotted man and I'll show you a supermodel that's sucking his dick for money. Like what? You know what I mean? There's an inverse to both of them. Like, wow, yeah, the women suck, right? No, not the men who are fucking weak and underpaying other men below them so that they can fucking get women they don't deserve because the men below them don't have shit. You know, all these people that fucking, they're like, oh, I'm into real estate. No, you're a slumlord. You bought some property, you had some apartments built, so you have residual return income, and you don't do anything. That's not real work. Owning apartments and having people live in apartments, dude, that's evil. I don't care what anybody says, dude. That's evil. I would never, if I could have all the money in the world, I would never build apartments and have people live in them. Never. That's just, those are lines. And the people who do that stuff, you're wrong for doing it, and you're stealing from people. And one day people are gonna make these conclusions, just like I have, that it's wrong. It should not be allowed. It's not acceptable, and it should not be tolerated.